In our first night together, the question was asked, where, in the course of our spiritual journey, from awakening to enlightenment, to the absence of illusion or God realization, is the experience of the death of love occur? And last evening, after the story, another question's been posed. What is the significance, the symbolism of the tongue mean? And tonight there's another question. And perhaps when we put all these questions together at the end of our days, we might have a realization. The story is the story, and it started with an explanation. According to the Hindu faith, all of existence, all of life takes place, occurs, plays in the body of the god Vishnu. So this story is about Narada. Narada is well known. He was a great scholar, a great teacher, a great debater. There's a university still named after him in the great land of India. But Narada was one of the closest devotees of Lord Vishnu. He would oftentimes, in his meditations, rise up to the celestial realms to converse with the Lord. Now, there was an occasion when Narada was on pilgrimage, and in coming to a certain town, he got into conversation with a merchant. Now, the merchant recognized Narada's spiritual nobility and invited him back to his home to enjoy a meal. Narada accepted and was given a delicious meal cooked by the wife of the merchant. But after the meal, Narada said, after eating such a delicious food, I feel joy and contentment, but after eating your food, I only feel sadness. The merchant said, Oh, indeed, you are a great sage. Yes, you are right. My wife and I are sad because we have no child. We have been to soothsayers, physicians, magicians, but we are told it is not in our destiny to have children. We are sad. Narada said, bring me your horoscopes. So the couple brought out the horoscopes, which are usually made by Indian families. Narada examined them and then asked to see their palms. And then he shook his head and said, No, indeed, it is not in your karma to have children. After departing from that place, Narada felt sad. So he sat in meditation and took himself to the celestial realms. And he spoke to Vishnu. He told Vishnu the story of the couple, how they were devoted, kind. And Vishnu waved his finger at Narada and said, You know, as well as I, that one cannot go against the laws of karma. Narada was sad. He descended down again from his meditative state and resumed his wandering. But some years later, he was passing by the same town, and he again met the merchant, who, recognizing him, invited him back to his home for another meal. When they arrived at the merchant's house, there were 3 children playing in the front yard. And Narada said, "Whose children are these?" And the merchant, with a great smile and contentment, said, "They are our children." Narada was greatly shocked and surprised, and the merchant told the story that some years ago a hermit had come into their town dressed as a beggar, a wandering mendicant. And when he entered the town, he cried out, "Give me 1 loaf of bread, and you will have 1 child. Give me 2 loaves of bread, and you'll have 2. Give me 3, and you'll have 3. My wife and I knew our fate, but we gave alms, the 3 loaves, to this old man. He gave us his blessing, and now we have these 3 beautiful children." Narada was greatly perplexed. How could this be? So, going into a meditative state, once again he ascended to the celestial realms and met the god Vishnu, and asked for an explanation. How can this be? Lord Vishnu said, "You are too agitated at this moment to give an explanation. Come, let us go down together." So both Lord Vishnu and Narada descended from the celestial realms and found themselves in a town. They were wandering down the streets when all of a sudden Lord Vishnu clasped at his belly and doubled over. He said, "Oh, one of my devotees has fed me contaminated yogurt. I need a new liver immediately, otherwise I will die." Narada was very, very perplexed, and immediately he ran off to the nearest temple, which was full of those chanting and sending prayers, and he shouted, "Please, please, will anyone give Lord Vishnu a liver? He's about to die." They all thought he was mad and ignored him, so he dashed out and raced down to the river. And there he saw men bathing, and he shouted at them, "Lord Vishnu needs a liver, otherwise he'll die. Who will offer their liver?" The men there shook their heads, but pointed in the direction of an old man, his long white beard and his hair dangling down into the river, standing on 1 leg. And they said, "Only he would be foolish enough to do such a thing." So Narada immediately went over to the old hermit and said, "Lord Vishnu is dying. He needs a liver immediately." The hermit lowered his leg into the water and indicated to Narada to follow him. He led Narada to a little hut that stood by the river. And when they entered, he invited Narada to be seated. He took a knife and sat down in lotus position, closing his eyes in meditation. He placed the knife in his side and drew it across his belly. Blood pouring forth, he took out his liver and handed it to Narada. Blood flowing down his thighs, he closed his eyes again and went into deep meditation. Narada took the liver and ran back to where Vishnu had rested. And there was Vishnu, looking hale and healthy. Narada handed him the liver and explained that it had been given by the old hermit. "Ah," said Vishnu, "this is a great Bhakti of mine. This is the saint who gave the children to the merchant. You, Narada, are no doubt a great devotee of mine. You are intellectual and you love me greatly. But, Narada, you have a liver. Why did you not give your liver to me?" Narada said, "Oh Lord, forgive me. I did not think." Lord Vishnu said, "This is why saint was able to grant the merchant his children. Only a Bhakti can do such. When a Bhakti speaks, the gods must obey. This is a great Bhakti, a great devotee of mine." So the question that's posed to you this evening, to add to the questions already asked, what is this Bhakti? What is this that transcends, is greater than the powers of existence? What is this love that can order even the gods?